This video will provide Murray State University faculty with an overview of open access and how it's changing the scholarly communication landscape. This is the first in a series of short videos created by the university libraries that will examine different aspects of this topic. Why talk about open access? The librarians are starting to feel questions about the effects of recent changes in the publishing industry. This is not a far-off problem that is affecting only research-level institutions. The next 3 slides describe scenarios that have arisen at Murray State. In our first scenario, a prominent Murray State researcher was invited to submit an article to a journal published by Biomed Central. That's a publisher based in the United Kingdom that has a suite of 272 peer-reviewed open access journals. The journal in question has been rated in the highest quartile in its field since 2009. The article was accepted and the author was asked to pay an article processing charge, or APC, of $2,250. Fees are standard for all of this publisher's journals, but the amount varies. The publisher is willing to consider waiving the fee if the university can say there are no funds to cover it. If deans and department chairs start covering them on a piecemeal basis, the libraries can't argue that there aren't funds. And arguing poverty is not a long-term solution because more journals are adopting these kind of charges. In this scenario, the publisher discounted the fee slightly, but the author still elected to pay it out of pocket. In our second scenario, a first-year faculty member on the tenure track has an article accepted by a prominent journal with an open access fee. The author approached his department chair and asked for funds to cover the article processing charge. Newer faculty members might be familiar with having these types of fees covered if their graduate institutions did. The department chair doesn't have the money and suspects the dean won't have the funds either. In this scenario, the author either pays the fee himself or has to choose to submit to a different journal. In our third scenario, a tenured researcher secured a grant to complete a research study and wrote up her results. The funding agency specified that the article and the data from the study must be made publicly available. This is an increasingly popular requirement. The top flight journal in which the author wishes to publish has an open access option that requires a $1,500 article processing charge. The researcher did not ask for funds to cover publishing their grant and has no other resource pools to which she can turn. In this scenario, the author is likely to submit the article to a lower quality journal without a fee because it won't hurt her tenure application. Those 3 scenarios are just the beginning of how open access will affect this campus. That's why the libraries believe it is important for all faculty to become familiar with the concept of open access. The general definition is literature that is digital, online, free of charge, and free of most copyright and licensing restrictions. Open access removes price barriers such as subscriptions, licensing fees, or pay-per-view fees, and permission barriers such as copyright and licensing restrictions that limit what you can do with your work. A key component of the open access movement is that we are seeing a shift in the cost of access from the reader to the author. Before, the reader had to pay an article download fee, subscribe, or have access to an institutional subscription. But if publishers eliminate fees for readers, they still need to make money. As a result, publishers are asking the authors to pay a fee up front. We'll examine the funding aspect of open access in more depth in another video. In general, 2 terms you might see applied to open access are green and gold. These color codes refer to which party is responsible for making the article openly available. In gold open access, the publisher provides access to the journal. This can be done through an entirely open journal, through a traditional journal that opens access after an embargo or delay period from 6 months to 5 years, or by offering authors the option to purchase their copyright and distribution rights up front and make the article open immediately. In green open access, the author provides access to the article through self-archiving. Publishers specify which version of the article can be shared, either a preprint, which is the original article version submitted for review, the postprint, which incorporates the reviewer's comments, or the publisher's version, the final PDF as it appeared in the journal. These versions can then be posted in something like a subject repository like archive.org or SSRN, an institutional repository hosted by the author's university, on a professional networking site, or on an author homepage. While it may seem that open access is a modern idea, the movement actually dates to the 1960s. Our timeline picks up with 2003 when the Public Library of Science, or PLOS, launched to show how open accessing publishing could work. They now have an extensive suite of journals that are particularly strong in the life sciences. In 2008, Harvard faculty adopted a mandate that required authors to post a digital copy of their work in an openly available repository. The Harvard mandate is the first in the United States. It followed 15 other mandates in 9 countries. That same year, the National Institutes of Health made public access to the final peer-reviewed manuscripts a requirement for funding. This spread in 2003 to the White House when they required federal agencies with more than $100 million in research and development to plan for open access to research results and data. Europe and Britain already had similar policies in place. As of December 2014, more than 80 U.S. institutions had open access mandates at either the university, school, or departmental level. The Murray State University Libraries amended its faculty handbook earlier in the year to encourage publishing open access when possible. Beginning in 2015, the Gates Foundation is requiring open access publishing for all projects it funds in whole or part. As the open access movement has grown, the question remains, how does it benefit researchers? Well, first, it could help Murray State raise our profile as a research institution. Open access contributes to the core mission of the Academy to share knowledge and build a more educated society. Open access can provide a citation advantage for authors. The SWAN study cited here examined 31 studies, and 27 of them found a positive advantage in the overall number of citations and how quickly they occurred. The author noted that open access did not make bad articles more citable. Good articles were the ones that received the bumps. Open access can enhance interdisciplinary research opportunities. Many open access journals fill niche roles, providing opportunities to publish on topics that might have been rejected by traditional journals with narrower scopes. Some publishers are even experimenting with broad mega journals like Sage Open or Open Library Humanities. Open access has led to the rise of alternative metrics to see how articles are used and cited across different sources, including online journals, websites, blogs, and social media. As author Kevin Smith noted, these alt metrics and their ability to measure impact on policy and practice are revising how we assess scholarship. Open access can speed up discovery and collaboration, particularly with non-academic entities that might not have been able to access scholarly work before. Think regional farmers, corporations, K-12 schools, government agencies, and nonprofits being able to read our work. Open access improves our shop window online by allowing us to highlight what we publish through an institutional repository. A repository is a website that collects digital copies of research and scholarship produced by the university's authors. A secondary benefit of open access is the role it could play in recruitment and retention. New faculty coming from doctoral programs that have open access mandates or cover open access fees might be expecting similar benefits from us. Some individuals nationwide have personally pledged to publish in only open access journals on principle. More credence for niche open access journals and tenure and promotion means no longer equating paying to publish with vanity publishing, and carefully evaluating more recent journals that are gaining influence but don't have high H-indexes or impact factors yet. The provost has said that he will respect the decisions of disciplinary tenure and promotion committees when it comes to adjudicating open access titles. And finally, international students might come from countries without extensive library collections and may rely on what is available in open access repositories or through Google Scholar. If they find our researchers' open access works online, they might choose to study at Murray State. What are we asking of you? We want you to begin discussing with your colleagues, department chairs, and tenure and promotion committees how open access fits into your discipline. This video can serve as a start of that conversation, but there are additional considerations that we have covered more fully in other videos. First, stop equating paying to publish with vanity publishing. Evaluate all publications on their merits, not on their fees. Second, consider how your department will pay for open access fees. When possible, write those costs into grant applications. Third, pay attention to your publishing agreements. Did you retain your author's rights? Our last 2 videos address different sides of this topic: author's rights and awareness of what you can do with your publications, and institutional repositories to showcase our research and scholarship. Several members of the university libraries collaborated to produce this video series. Any of us would be delighted to answer open access questions for individuals, to facilitate discussions with departments, or to introduce the topic to graduate students in research methods courses. I'm Elizabeth Price, and on behalf of my colleagues, I want to thank you for your time.